Ladies and gentlemen, friends, brothers and sisters in this journey of life, we are living in a time when storms surround us. Storms in our homes, in our schools, in our cities, in our minds. Trouble is not rare. It's the rhythm of the world we walk through. And the question we all wrestle with deep inside is this: how do I stand when everything around me is shaking? Today I want to tell you that there is a way to live with calm in the chaos. There is a strength that lets you walk through fire without the smell of smoke on your clothes. There is a peace that doesn't depend on your paycheck, your diagnosis, or the approval of others. It's time to learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not because you're numb, not because you don't care, but because you've placed your confidence in something greater than your circumstances. You see, when a tree has deep roots, the wind may bend it, but it won't break it. When a soul is anchored in truth, in purpose, in faith, then fear cannot conquer it. The waves may rise, but they will not sink the ship if peace is steering the helm. And let me tell you, peace is not pretending. It is power. It is not denial. It is divine perspective. The world may see calm on your face and think it's performance, but heaven sees it and knows it is faith. Now I know some of you are thinking, but I've got real problems. I've got bills. I've got heartbreak. I've got people attacking me, lying about me, leaving me. Yes, you do, and yet, my friend, you can still choose not to be bothered. You can learn to walk through the storm without letting the storm walk through you. You don't have to respond to every insult. You don't have to carry every weight. You don't have to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes the greatest strength is silence. Sometimes the greatest response is to rise above it. Let the world wonder how you stay so calm. Let them question how you keep smiling. And let your answer be this: I have learned to be content, to be steady, to be at peace, not because of what's around me, but because of what's within me. So when anxiety knocks, don't answer. When chaos screams, speak stillness. When life says panic, you say peace. When the devil tries to press your buttons, let him find none. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not because you're perfect, but because you're protected. Not because you're blind to pain, but because you've been shown a better way. Hold your head high, keep your heart soft, let your soul be still, and may your life say what your lips don't have to: I will not be moved. Amen. True peace comes from within. Calmness in chaos is not denial, but a deep-rooted faith and inner strength that surpasses circumstances. Acting unbothered is a choice of strength. Not pretending, choosing not to react, doesn't mean you're weak or fake. It means you are spiritually and emotionally mature. Anchored souls are not easily shaken, like a tree with deep roots. Those with strong values and inner grounding can endure life's storms without breaking. You don't have to respond to every attack. Silence and self-control can be more powerful than arguing. Not everything requires a reaction. Let your calm be a witness to your faith when others see your peace in trials. It reflects your inner conviction and divine trust. Peace is power, not passivity. Walking in peace doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means facing it with courage, clarity, and unshakable confidence. In a world full of noise, distraction, and pressure, peace can often feel like a distant dream. We search for it in our careers, in relationships, in financial success, in social approval. But the truth is, lasting peace is not found in external conditions. It is born and cultivated within. When everything around us is uncertain, the only stable ground we can stand on is the calm we carry inside ourselves. External peace is fleeting. The moment circumstances change, a job is lost, a relationship ends, a bill arrives unexpectedly, that outer peace crumbles. But inner peace, when it is genuine, is not tied to outcomes. It is not dependent on everything going your way. True peace is an anchor in the storm. It is the ability to say, even if things are not okay around me, I will be okay within me. This kind of peace doesn't mean you're ignorant of your problems or disconnected from reality. On the contrary, it means you see clearly, feel deeply, and still choose to remain steady. It is a decision to center yourself in what cannot be shaken, your faith, your values, your purpose. When your sense of calm comes from within, it can't be taken from you by external chaos. Inner peace is cultivated through discipline. It requires you to guard your mind, to set boundaries with negative influences, and to return often to stillness. It's built through quiet reflection, honest self-examination, and the willingness to release what you cannot control. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you develop this kind of peace, you begin to see life differently. You stop chasing things that only offer momentary satisfaction. You stop reacting to every offense or disruption. You learn to pause before you speak, to listen more than you defend, and to rest even when you're in the middle of battle. You become a still point in a spinning world. More than that, your inner peace becomes a gift to others. When those around you are anxious or overwhelmed, your calm presence reminds them that it's possible to live with stability, even in difficult times. Your peace becomes a testimony, not of perfection, but of perspective. So how do you begin to develop peace from within? Start by recognizing that you are not your circumstances. Your identity is not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. Spend time in stillness. Disconnect from constant noise. Feed your soul with truth and silence the lies of fear. Choose to live from a place of groundedness rather than reaction. Remember, peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of clarity, strength, and trust, planted deep within your heart. And once it is there, no storm can uproot it. In life, we will all face moments where we are tested by criticism, misunderstanding, pressure, or outright opposition. During these moments, we have a choice to react in emotion or to respond in strength. Acting unbothered does not mean we are unaware, numb, or indifferent. It means we are choosing our response rather than allowing our emotions or other people to control us. There's a common misconception that staying calm or appearing unaffected is a form of emotional dishonesty, that it's pretending or putting on a mask, but the reality is quite the opposite. To act unbothered is not to hide weakness, it is to express strength. It is a sign of discipline, maturity, and emotional intelligence. It means we've learned that not everything deserves our energy, and not every conflict deserves our reaction. When you respond to every slight, every rumor, every insult, you hand over control of your peace to others. But when you remain steady, unshaken by words or circumstances, you are saying something powerful without speaking a word. I am not controlled by this. To act unbothered is not to ignore pain, but to handle it with wisdom. It means choosing your battles carefully. It means not letting someone else's bad day become your bad day. It means understanding that your dignity is worth more than momentary satisfaction from arguing or proving a point. This mindset doesn't come naturally for most people. It must be developed through reflection, practice, and intentional self-control. It involves slowing down your reactions, asking yourself whether something truly matters, and reminding yourself of your greater purpose. When your mind is fixed on what really counts, your calling, your values, your long-term vision, then small disturbances no longer have the power to knock you off course. In fact, one of the most powerful ways to shift a situation is through non-reaction. When someone is trying to provoke you, the most unsettling thing you can do to them is to stay calm. When life tries to shake you, the strongest message you can send is to keep walking forward without looking back. But make no mistake, acting unbothered does not mean you don't care. It means you care more about your peace than about being right. It means you care more about your future than about temporary satisfaction. It's a conscious decision to rise above, not to shrink beneath, and over time, something beautiful happens. As you practice this posture of inner strength, it becomes real. What begins as a choice becomes a character trait. What started as self-control becomes your natural response. You don't have to fake peace anymore. you become peace. So the next time life gives you a reason to break down, remember you have a choice. You can let it define you, or you can stand tall, stay calm, and keep moving forward. And bothered not because you don't feel, but because you've already decided who you are. Life is unpredictable. Storms come without warning, people change, circumstances shift, and the plans we once held tightly can unravel in an instant. In a world full of uncertainty, one truth remains. Those who are anchored deeply are not easily shaken. What does it mean to be anchored? It means your stability comes not from your surroundings, but from something stronger and deeper inside you. Just as a ship drops its anchor to hold it steady in turbulent seas, we too must root ourselves in something solid, something unmovable, so that the waves of life do not carry us away. Anchored souls are those who have established their identity, purpose, and values in something greater than feelings or fleeting success. They are not easily swayed by public opinion, by temporary setbacks, or by the emotional highs and lows that many are ruled by. These individuals have taken time to define who they are and what they believe, and as a result, they walk through storms with quiet confidence. When your soul is anchored, fear may knock, but it won't enter. Doubt may whisper, but it won't linger. Disappointment may visit, but it won't destroy, because deep down you know who you are, you know where your strength comes from, and you know that storms, no matter how loud, don't last forever. Being anchored doesn't mean you won't feel the wind. It doesn't mean you won't be tested. What it does mean is that when everything else is shaking, you won't fall apart. You may bend, but you will not break. This kind of strength is built over time. It comes from facing difficulty and choosing not to give up. It comes from learning to pause and reflect before reacting. It comes from building a life that's grounded not in convenience, but in conviction. We live in a culture that constantly pulls us toward distraction, comparison, and anxiety. Anchored souls resist that pull. They have learned to quiet the noise, to stay focused on what truly matters, and to remain consistent even when everything around them is inconsistent. You can spot an anchored person by how they respond to pressure. When others panic, they stay calm. When others lash out, they speak with grace. When others run, they stand firm. They are not trying to prove themselves with words. Their strength is seen in their actions. So how do you become anchored? You begin by asking yourself, what do I truly believe? What values define my life? What purpose drives me forward? And once you answer those questions, you live them out every day, especially when it's hard. The storms of life will come, that is certain, but when your soul is anchored in truth, in purpose, and in unshakable identity, you will not drift. You will not be overcome. You will stand, not because the storm is small, but because your anchor is strong. One of the greatest signs of strength and maturity is the ability to stay silent when provoked. In a world where everyone feels the need to respond, defend, or retaliate, choosing not to react to every attack is a mark of wisdom, not weakness. It's natural to want to explain yourself, to set the record straight, or to strike back when someone misjudges you. Our pride demands it. Our ego insists on being heard. But if you react to every insult or criticism, you'll spend your entire life chasing after people's opinions instead of pursuing your own peace. The truth is, not everything deserves your attention. Not every conflict requires your involvement. There will always be people who misunderstand you, misrepresent you, or speak against you. That is not a reflection of who you are. It is a reflection of where they are, and it is not your job to carry their projections on your back. There is power in restraint. There is dignity in silence. When someone attacks you with words, and you choose not to answer, you rise above the situation rather than sink into it. You remain in control, not of them, but of yourself. And that self-control is priceless. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to explain every move you make. You don't have to prove your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response. Sometimes silence speaks louder than explanation. When you refuse to respond to every attack, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. You stop allowing your peace to be dictated by other people's chaos. You stop letting your joy be hijacked by negativity. Your focus becomes sharper. Your direction becomes clearer. This doesn't mean you never confront problems. It doesn't mean you ignore what's right or allow people to walk all over you. It means you become intentional about where you place your attention and emotional investment. It means you know when to speak and when to walk away, and often walking away is not weakness, it is wisdom. Imagine how much calmer your life would be if you didn't allow every criticism to enter your heart. Imagine the freedom you would feel if you no longer tried to correct every misunderstanding. You are not here to convince everyone. You are here to walk in your purpose. Let people talk. Let them assume. Let them misjudge. If their opinion didn't create your identity, it shouldn't control your response. When your confidence is rooted in something deeper than public approval, you gain the power to let things go. You gain the strength to hold your peace, and in doing so, you become unshakable, not because you've silenced the world, but because you've silenced the need to answer it. There are moments in life when our words are not enough. In those moments, it is our demeanor, our quiet strength, our steady presence, our calm in the face of chaos, that speaks the loudest. When others are watching how we respond to stress, betrayal, hardship, or disappointment, our calm becomes a testimony. It tells a story without needing explanation. It points to a deeper source of peace and strength that the world cannot offer or take away. Calmness, especially during adversity, is not passive. It is not apathy or detachment. It is the active choice to remain grounded when everything around you is shaking. It reflects a kind of inner assurance that circumstances cannot touch. It says, I know where my peace comes from. I know who holds my future. I do not need to panic because I am held by something greater than this moment. If people notice that kind of calm. In a world driven by urgency, fear, and reaction, calm people stand out. Their presence draws attention not because it is loud, but because it is rare. When someone sees you walking through pressure with grace, not because life is easy, but because you have chosen to trust instead of worry, that calm becomes a quiet form of influence. You don't have to quote verses or preach to prove your faith. You don't have to win every debate. Sometimes your best witness is how you carry yourself when life is unfair, how you speak when others slander you, how you respond when you are overlooked, how you keep walking forward when you feel like giving up. That calm, that unwavering spirit, tells people more about your faith than 1,000 speeches ever could. Let your peace be contagious. Let your calm encourage those who feel like falling apart. Let your steadiness give others permission to breathe again. When people ask how you stay composed, how you stay hopeful, how you're not losing your mind while others are, that becomes your opportunity to share where your strength truly lies. This kind of peace is not shallow. It is not based on denial or escape. It is rooted in trust, built over time through hardship and surrender. You cultivate it by choosing faith over fear, purpose over panic, and wisdom over worry. It grows in quiet places, in prayer, in reflection, in solitude. It is refined through trials and solidified through patience. So the next time life feels loud, chaotic, or uncertain, resist the urge to join the noise. Choose calm. Let it flow from the confidence of knowing who you are and what anchors your soul. Let your calm speak when words fall short. Let your peace lead others to ask, what is it that holds you together? And when they ask, you'll have your answer, not just in words, but in the quiet strength of your life. Would you like me to continue with key point 6 as well? Too often, peace is misunderstood. Some see it as weakness, a passive stance in a world that demands strength and confrontation. Others mistake it for indifference, as if being calm means you don't care or that you're avoiding responsibility. But real peace is not the absence of action. It is the presence of power. It is not retreat. It is mastery. It is not avoidance. It is knowing exactly where to place your energy and when to move forward with clarity and control. True peace is not found by running from difficulty or pretending problems don't exist. It's found in facing those problems with a calm, focused mind and a grounded spirit. It is the ability to think clearly while others are overwhelmed. It is the ability to respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. Peace gives you a strategic advantage. It allows you to act with intention rather than impulse. That is not weakness. That is power in its purest form. The person who can stay calm under pressure holds more influence than the one who constantly scrambles in panic. The leader who maintains composure in crisis inspires trust. The individual who keeps their inner world still in the midst of outer chaos has already won half the battle. Peace does not mean sitting still while life passes you by. It means moving forward with confidence, not confusion. It's the foundation that allows you to make decisions without fear clouding your judgment. It's what gives you the strength to speak when necessary and the wisdom to stay silent when silence is stronger. This kind of peace comes from intentional living. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you choose daily. You choose it when you let go of unnecessary conflict. You choose it when you forgive those who don't deserve it. You choose it when you stop rehearsing what hurt you and start focusing on what heals you. Peace empowers you to walk away from drama without guilt. It empowers you to decline invitations to arguments that don't serve your growth. It gives you control over your emotional responses, which is one of the most powerful forms of control a person can ever develop. When you live from a place of peace, you don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to intimidate to be respected. Your quiet confidence speaks for itself, and that kind of influence, rooted in inner calm rather than external dominance, leaves a lasting impact. So don't confuse peace with passivity. Real peace is strength under control. It is power that doesn't need to boast. It is the calm in your soul that allows you to lead yourself and others through life's storms without losing your direction. In the end, it's not just about finding peace. It's about becoming it. Let your life be proof that peace is not what you retreat into, but what you rise from. Would you like a summary of all 6 expanded key points in one place in a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 directions, where criticism is loud and distractions are endless? Learning to act as if nothing bothers you is not a game of pretending. It's the development of inner mastery. It's not about being cold, emotionless, or detached. It's about rising above what does not deserve your energy, preserving what is sacred within you, and walking through life with intention and grace. True peace, as we've seen, begins from within. It doesn't depend on circumstances aligning or people approving. It is a stillness that grows from self-awareness, faith, and the quiet knowledge that you are held by something greater than your current challenge. When you anchor your identity in truth, not trends or opinions, you gain a strength that allows you to remain calm even in the face of chaos. Acting unbothered is not a performance, it's a form of strength. It means you've stopped allowing the world to dictate your reactions. You no longer hand out pieces of your peace to everyone who tries to provoke you. Instead, you pause, reflect, and respond with purpose, if you choose to respond at all. That kind of calm is not weakness. It is courage under control. Anchored souls are not easily shaken because they've learned what to stand on. They know what matters and what doesn't. They've done the work to deepen their roots through reflection, discipline, and purpose, so that when storms come they may bend, but they do not break. That quiet resilience is not visible at a glance, but it is undeniable in its presence. And perhaps most powerful of all is the decision to not respond to every attack. It takes maturity to stay silent when your pride wants to speak. It takes wisdom to know that not every opinion needs correction. You gain peace when you no longer chase approval, and you gain power when you no longer fear misunderstanding. In that peace lies your greatest testimony. When your calm becomes a witness to your faith and convictions, it speaks more than words ever could. People may not understand your silence, but they'll be drawn to your strength. They may not see your battles, but they'll feel your presence. That's what it means to carry peace like a light in a world that often runs on noise and fear. Finally, remember that peace is not passivity. It's not standing back in defeat. It's stepping forward with clarity and restraint. It is power guided by wisdom. It is strength expressed through stability. You don't need to fight every battle to win the war. Sometimes the greatest victory is keeping your peace in the middle of the storm. So choose calm, choose to be unbothered, not because life is easy, but because you are rooted. Not because you don't feel, but because you are led by something deeper. Let the world see that your peace is your power, and in doing so, you'll not only change your own life, you'll inspire others to do the same.